So this is the first time I've done this, but I've wanted to give out these episode reviews, well, reviews in a sense. It's more just me talking about what I thought about the arc or the episode and what happened and all that. And I've always wanted to do this when this was happening in the manga when I was reading it, but I wasn't caught up at the time. So I think I can actually apply that into doing manga reviews later on, possibly. But for now, I really do want to focus on the anime, and this is going to be my first attempt at doing so. Now, I understand that the first episode is late. Obviously, I didn't do the first episode, but I feel like there's not that much to cover for it because everything I would have said in there just applies here also, except better. So there you go. And the first thing that I want to talk about, so you have over here this episode happening. Everyone's just going about their stuff. Everyone's training and this, how that's going. But just focusing on the training thing alone, I don't talk about this much when it comes to videos, but I think that it's just something I really need to highlight on. I love when training is done, especially when it's done the way that it is done here, because you see so much going on here. Like, for example, Bakugo is doing his stuff, you have Todoroki doing his stuff, Deku with Tora, all this type of stuff going on. And to see a class work together like this in unison, it's just to see all of that. You seeing growth and development of everyone there. Everyone's fully exerting themselves as hard as they could. That's the whole point of training, because with quirks it doesn't just work as in, oh, I can just train this, like, oh, I have to do a certain exercise to where I can just slowly craft at it. There's something you have to do a vigorous amounts of it. You have to, it's basically the same way how they explained it. It's just like quirks work like muscles. You have to fully exert them, break them and all that, and then you rebuild, making them stronger. I love that, especially for class 1A. Or is it just class A? I can't tell the difference. Then you see just seeing the class together and being able to do that all around. I was loving it, especially the fact that like everyone was nearby each other, and this is just something that this is a whole group effort, and everyone fully exerting themselves. And there's no one being left out. Everyone's just going about their stuff as hard as they could. Everyone's chalking up a sweat. You see Uraraka nearing about to fucking vomit with Oyama, and I think what I love the most about this, I think one side was Momo just fully just going to town, just eating her life away and all that, but it was Deku's training is just it was extremely ridiculous for me because I was thinking in my head like, oh, okay. Originally when I was reading the manga for it, I was like, oh, okay, so I'm thinking that he would be just going ahead and like trying his punches and all that stuff, just like, oh, let's try a Delaware smash type deal, except only like maybe like 1%. Let's like, oh, like a couple of jabs back and forth, like, you know how they do, how Netero had done his praying. It's just that type of stuff, except it's just done with punches or flicks or something like that. But then you just see it's him. He's dancing basically in a sense. Like he's dancing. After that, you see Tora. He's like, show me your plus ultra. I want to see where the fuck is this plus ultra. Keep going and all that. And he's going to town. It's like, oh, okay. Let me just get this stuff down. And it was just amazing for that. And after the animation was all done, you have the special training class being taken away. And I lost my mind when I saw Mina's face. Like, the first time I saw that, it's just like you just see them. Oh man, what the fuck? And it's not something that is like I want to focus too highly on, but it's just like I love when the animation takes that little side turn and going about something like that. Like, for example, Deku's All Might impression, and then you see anytime someone hits like a bone chilling type pain, for example, it's like something that would make you extremely cringe and all that. They have the exact animations for that, and I love it all the time. But after that's all well and done, then you have something that it goes on more serious. Like the tone of the episode shifts. It's more on like it was cheery, a little bit more serious, cheery again, and then dark. But the more serious area, the genuine conversation between Deku and Todoroki. Now, I believe Deku between Deku and Todoroki, you'll see some of the best interactions right there, because both of them being the apprentices of the top two heroes, and going about this, Deku and Todoroki, they're talking about Kota. So after that, it's a new strong interaction between the two of them, and the first one being the tournament, and you see how large an effect that had, changing up Todoroki's life completely. Being able to go see his mom in a different light and all that types of stuff. He's able to just shift himself in a totally different direction. And when Deku's explaining all this stuff to him, you see Todoroki explain it to where it's just like, okay, So I wouldn't exactly be preaching to the person that doesn't want to hear it. You have to go be approaching this differently. It doesn't just apply like that. And he's fully acknowledging Deku's ability to speak and like how much it has an influence because that applied to him. Now, like everything that Deku is saying to him, he's like, oh man, well, I just need to figure out a way to talk to him. He's like, well, you already have a way with words. I don't want to like say like he's flirting with him or something like that, but he has a way with words that can actually get to the person. But at the same time, Deku speaking is one thing, but his actions and energy is a totally different thing that adds on to that. Now, while Deku speaking to Todoroki in the tournament area, that was largely important. But when it came to his full exertion of his like, just blowing away his fingers, his arm, and all that, putting all of that energy in there, breaking his shit, all of that, just going to Todoroki and trying to get like not only a point across, but trying to win. So he's showing all of this conviction, this energy output and all that stuff to Todoroki, and just being like you have to just better yourself and all that. And Todoroki fully acknowledges it, but it's hinting at Deku like speaking to him is one thing, but you're going to have to do something else. Like there has to be something else that adds on to that. It's not like words alone ain't gonna get to him. And this I swear to God, it's like a Naruto reference somewhere, maybe a Batman one. But on to the next thing, the voice acting, flow, and the energy of the Pussycats. I love them to death. They're so funny together. I always love when it comes to certain groups that are always introduced like that inside of a franchise. I want to say just inside of an anime, because usually these types of groups are always done in everything. Not just specifically like it's a group full of women, but a group that just adds on this positive energy to these characters that aren't really ready for what the hell's going on. For the first one, you have Ragdoll. She's doing so well. Oh my fucking God. She's so bouncy, vocal, and she does so well for My Hero right there. Just great for this energy. And that's usually all of them, but you know how that goes. Pixie, I'm loving her character type. I love the animation that they're doing for her quirk. The Earth Beast look fucking amazing. I loved it. And how you see all the characters joining together to go at this like one common enemy and all that. And it was doing fucking amazing. The voice actress being able to match her is so well too, though. I think that I have to give huge credit to My Hero voice actors in general, and all of them being able to just match their character to a T. It's like, wow, you guys have a fucking great job at casting. It does so well. And the final thing with Pixies, oh my God, I was like, no, fucking, you see Nagne just crushing her. I was like, no, fuck you, just keep on. I need her in my life. Don't do this to me. There's Mandalay. I'm neutral on her character, but I love her character design, probably the best out of all of them. I don't know. I'm just really loving her character. It's probably because of the whole like short hair type deal thing. Just love her. But then Tora. I know I said Mandalay is my favorite character design, but Tora is my favorite cat. Free. Loving the voice actor and character so much. I love the animation being done when he's being intimidating towards Deku, and just fully loving him when he was doing the whole plus ultra stuff to him, and he's just getting in his face. He's like, no, I want you to show me what the fuck plus ultra is. And then Deku's just fully intimidated because just Tora's fucking jacked, and he's being the muscle of the group and all that. And it's just amazing because along with being the muscle of the group, he's also like somewhat it's not like it's a different character, obviously. Like it's like, oh, one of these characters is not like one of these characters isn't like the others and all that. And you notice that with Tora, but at the same time, it's like such an essential part of the group. It's amazing. But more moving on past the cats, obviously. One thing I want to make huge highlight on, Dabi's animation. Now, I read the manga this whole time. I really, really thought it was going to be black and looking like Amaterasu or something like that, or Amaterasu, however you guys say it. But it personally looked like that. I had no way to know that it was going to be blue previously. I don't know. I think it's possible that the manga could have hinted at it and just been like looking at the smoke, just being like, oh, blue flames. They probably said something about that, but I completely just disregarded it in my head and just be like, well, you know, black flames, probably that's probably the case. But man, Dabi's animation looks fucking sick. I was really about that, especially when it gave a huge glow to his eyes and all that. fucking amazing. I love Dabi's character in general, but yeah. And then after you finish it off with the cold ending, it was a great area to end off the episode. Because like there's cold openings and then there's cold, like this cold ending right here, this great cliffhanger. It was a perfect area to end off at. It shows that Kota was in danger. Like that means that's hinting at more stuff to happen. That's great. Dabi's power being shown for the first time, which is like, okay, I wonder how this is gonna go. Like this is gonna go forward and affect everyone going on. This is mean that there's some shit's going down. Like this whole cold ending, that was just showing that dog, villains are here. Shit is going to go down immediately. What are we gonna do about it? And I love that. I love that the whole complete shift from the original cheery, like what stuff we were doing originally, because it's just like the way that it was done, the shift in energy, all of it was completely just moved over. Like not like just like, oh, it was a hard shift. It was more on like a smooth transition once we got to the scene with the poison gas. Because that right there, it was originally just Class B just doing little practical jokes and all that shit. And then it just completely shifted over until like, oh wow, villains, they're fucking here. And I loved everything about that. And it just, okay, I'm going to talk about manga stuff right after, but I just want to tell you guys, for those just only anime watchers, it was a great area to end off at, and altogether, a great episode. I loved it. In terms of like all episodes possible, I want to say like it was a good ass how would I scale this? I'd probably say like a 3.8 out of 5, because I don't want to just be like out of 10. It's just like, because anytime you put something like, oh, say if it was a 7, people are just like, oh, you think it's fucking terrible? And I'm like, no, it's not the case. And it's more than a 7 regardless. But yeah, I'd say around 3.9, maybe a direct 4. Not a 4. Yeah, it's like a 3.8 around there. I'll say that. So there you go for that, for those that watch the anime. Now, this is going to be a manga area right here, people. Just warning you, so people that watch anime, goodbye, Godspeed, and all that. Okay, but for the manga, holy fuck, you have no clue how anxious I was. Legitimately just looking at this shit with my heart beating and just like, oh my fucking god, are they gonna do the Dabi and Aizawa shit? I was like, bro, this needs to be fucking happening. Cause right there when you see just like right, he's running out there, you know, Racer, and he runs out into the field. He's like, oh children, where are you? And then Dabi was exactly to like his left. Oh no, it was right, and he says, oh, you were too late. And he just like the whole panel where he's just turning his head as hard as he could, and then fucking gets blasted by all that fucking blue fire, which it's blue fire now. And I lost my shit because I was like, this is a fucking good ass panel. I was like, oh no, what happened? And I was losing my shit just reading that, and it was, oh my god, just imagining that being animated, and that's happening soon. I was so anxious for that when I was watching the episode. I want you guys to know that. But then we have the muscular fight that's going to be happening soon. That's going to be fucking amazing. I want to see exactly what they're doing with that. I'm so happy with this. I'm so happy that this is being animated. This is a great area. Oh my goodness, My Hero's about to take a huge turn. I want everyone to know that. This is about to be a fucking great for everybody. But yeah, sorry, it's just I'm using so much language. I'm just really hyped about this because this was such a good episode. I said 3.8, but high key, without me being anxious and shit like that, I was definitely like, this is like a 4.2, like just off of the weight of me being anxious on that. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this. I didn't really expect myself to just go about My Hero episodes / manga parts. I wasn't really about it because I didn't really think that many people just like, oh, it's not really a thing that's like acknowledgeable. But I don't know, I really wanted to give my thoughts about it all. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm being sure to make more My Hero content. I'm also going to be making more Marvel content for those that are like My Hero and Marvel, which is a very like niche thing, I guess, on my channel. But this is probably going to be Marvel plus insert thing here a lot more, so expect that in the future. So thank you guys so much. See you guys in the next one. Until then, peace out and Godspeed.